Hey there, this is Malorian, and this is going to be the big 8,000 point game I was talking about. We're playing on an 8x4 board. There is going to be 5 zones, and the way it's going to work is we're not going for victory points. It's going to be about trying to control these zones. So at the start of turn 3, at the end of every player turn, if you have guys in there and the opponent doesn't, you get a point. You just add it up all the way to the end. Also, if you can't fit all your stuff on the board, you can put things in reserves, and I'm going to have that. I'm going to have my black orcs with Grimgore off the board. I'm going to be having some spider riders, orc archers, orcs with shields, savage orc biggins with a level 4 and a war boss. There's going to be 3 boar chariots, 2 wolf chariots. Across the way, there'll be 4 chukkas, 2 rock labas, and 2 doom divers. I have a Wyvern War Boss here, Troll Horde, I'm going to have my Squig Herd Horde, Wolves, Night Goblins, regular Goblins, and then there's going to be my BSB, a level 1, and my Orc with Wizarding Hat, who got Lord Death, so I actually have my own Purple Sun. I'm going to have my 100 Night Goblins with 9 big bosses in the front, another Wyvern Rider, more Wolves. Then over here is going to be more orcs with shields, 2 giants, an Arachnarok, orcs with 2 choppas, spiders, more night goblins, and savage orc boar boys. And what do you got on your side?
Well, we got some reavers, archers. You'll see the trend here. Sea Guard. We got our prince on a griffin, one of the eagles. We got the white lions with my level 4. We've got 40 block of sword masters with my VSB, Lariel, and Cadranian. We have some bolt throwers over here. We've got a prince here on a star dragon. So we've got a big block here, some silverhounds, archers, Phoenix Guard. Phoenix Guard got level 2 and Corhill. We got some dragon princes with a level 2 running beasts, archers, sea guard, another bolt thrower, another eagle. Another block of 40 sword masters. This one's got the lore master and another level 2. More reavers, more archers, and one of each of the frosties. The phoenixes.
Sounds good. So he deployed everything first, so he's going to get the +1. I'm going to get a mighty 1, so he's guaranteed to get that. What do you know? He gets a 7, so that's as big of a win as you can get. So good luck to you, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so starting on his turn, we already have some action. He moves up his Reavers, and they're just within 8 inches, so that releases a Fanatic. Normally in this situation, because it's so close to monsters and stuff, I would just send it away into some terrain or something. But unfortunately, I have no options like that, so I decided to go for it anyway. Come up short, but could have been good. Otherwise, here on the left flank, really what's happening is he's moving up all of his line. I was a little bit surprised he moved up his sword masters that far, mainly because they have no real reserve. He has those spearmen that are kind of slowly coming across the river, but otherwise, if I break through them, he's in a lot of trouble. Then again, they're supported by 2 different types of phoenixes, and if he can bring the line of battle to my zone, he can be scoring on his friendly zone with his archers or whatever he wants, while he just ties up mine. So he could be going for that gambit. The center, this was more of a mistake. What happens here, this is what I think he was doing. He moves up very aggressively with his knights and his dragon and everything else, and I think he really sees this river as a big division. However, it really isn't. Looking at the trolls, I can go into the flank of the Reavers, I can go to the flank of the knights there, the dragon princes, and he's in a really bad spot here. Just going to talk about his magic and shooting. He gets off Flesh of Stone on his right sword masters. His shooting does really poorly. Orc or goblin here or there, but really just doesn't really shoot that well. Otherwise, on this side, it's really just trying to get in my way. The Griffin hiding behind the building. I was happy to see the Swordmasters going to the left because I'm pretty sure my Night Goblins can hold them up. Otherwise, I just really need to clear these guys away so I can steamroll over to his zone. The White Lions will really be an issue, but I kind of figured that between all the monsters and the reserves and everything like that, I should be okay. So on my turn, I have a little bit of animosity issues. Both the Bunker and the 100 Night Goblins fail an animosity of 6, so I get to move up and I have to charge the closest unit. What I'm hoping to do with the Bunker is to clear things away so that there's no one to charge. But really, the 100 Night Goblins having to go after the Eagle, that's not so bad. Over here, this was a really big bunch of starting luck. I go in and I charge the Reavers. They flee, and they go through the Flame Phoenix. The Flame Phoenix fails its panic test and goes off the board. So that's huge. That's a monster off the board, and usually the Flame Phoenix, his big thing is he comes back. Well, that doesn't happen if he runs off the board. So otherwise, on the left side, it looks really like this. Really Chariots and Revern just trying to get into positions. I had charged the Eagle, and it fled, and it got away. The Orc Archers are now inside the building and trying to do some shots there. I really, really wanted to shoot down the Frost Phoenix, but it just kept on making its 4+ ward because of how he rolled a 6 for his magic phase. And yeah, I'm still feeling really good on this left side. I just have so many elements. Otherwise, here in the center, I charge the Reavers, they flee. I charge the Dragon Princes, they flee. And so that's really kind of clearing things up here in the center. The Wolves are redirecting. Because of those fleas in the center, the Bunker had nobody to charge. The 100 Night Goblins go after the Eagle. It flees, and I don't redirect. And then otherwise here on the right, I charge the Reavers with the Orcs. They run away. I then also charge them with the Brown Giant, and they have to flee, of course, and I catch them. I trip on the wall on the way there. But otherwise, the Ragnarok charges the other Reavers. They flee and get away. And I hold there with my archers, my Night Goblin archers, to try and really shoot up those Reavers, but I leave one alive. I even try and send over both Doom Divers to finish it off, but they both scatter off wildly. So, I mean, the big thing here is that normally Chaff is really important because it lets you redirect and control the board. Well, when you're talking about zones, they become very important for contesting, right? In the later stages of the game, where we're going to be scoring, it's going to be really important if they get the run into the zone and stop some points. So on his turn 2, he's going to do a couple of charges here. The White Lions into the Brown Giant and the Griffin into the Night Goblin Giant. Over here, he's going to be charging his Swordmasters into my Night Goblins and his Star Dragon and Silverhelms into my Wolves. Over here, it was a little bit of a longer charge, but he gets a combo charge with his Swordmasters and the Phoenix. I'm not too worried about this because even if he beats me, I got the Savages behind. So if I do some whittling damage now, hopefully I can then just come at them after. And that's really what happens. It does. Okay, here's something that I didn't expect. I kind of expected the Frost Phoenix to make it to me, and then I pop my Potion of Strength, kill it, and then deal with the Swordmasters after. But the Frost Phoenix fails the overrun, and it's the Swordmasters that do make it into me. So that was a little bit unexpected. Otherwise, he's just still slowly kind of moving over. He rallied with his Eagle. His magic phase was completely shut down this turn. His shooting will not be doing too much either. Of course, my Wolves die. He just reforms with the Dragon, overruns into the Night Goblins. And in the right side, what I'm able to do is go after his characters. So I do 1 wound on the Everqueen, kill his BSB. You know, he killed a handful of my guys, but he's netted, so that's really causing him some issues. Usually he just cut me to pieces, but I mean 3+3+ gets rid of a good chunk of his dice. And yeah, I'm just starting to try and whittle down that fight. Otherwise, here on the right side, what happens is he beats up on my Brown Giant. but I jump up and down, and I'm able to kill 10 white lions, so that's pretty damn nice. Otherwise, he does 3 wounds to my Night Goblin Giant, but then I headbutt the Griffin, and I hold, so that's really good because next turn it means I can really beat up on his Griffin. Otherwise, he just kind of moves around with his 1 Reaver just to try and slow me down, shoots up my spiders, they're going to fail, and they're going to go off the board. My turn 2, this was something here that was kind of interesting. Now, if I charge the Star Dragon, odds are his general on the top is going to die, but he's going to beat me, I'll be steadfast, and, you know, it's kind of one of these things where maybe he'll break even, it depends how rolls go and stuff like that, but then his Phoenix Guard are kind of in a countering position. What he does instead, though, is he flees, which lets me redirect into the flank of the Silverhounds, and that's massive because those Silverhounds are going to cause me a lot of trouble because if they beat that bunker, they're just going to keep on going, and yeah, now they're just going to die. As well, on my turn, I get off Doom and Darkness up on the Star Dragon. It's kind of cool, you know, with the Wizard hat, my general has Doom and Darkness and Purple Sun. Purple Sun will probably never come up, but hey, you know, fleeing units don't like being -3 leadership. Otherwise, what happens here on the left side is it's pretty bloody, but I kill a whole bunch of the Sword Masters, and they hold because I didn't beat them by that much. Not a big deal. I try for a charge on the Eagle, I fail. The 2 Wolf Chariots are just looking to the inside to help just in case. I really try and kill that Phoenix with my War Machines, but again, I just can't do it because he has that 4+ ward again. He just keeps on cranking it. The 1 Wyvern flies into his zone to really force him to try and commit to it. On the center, yeah, those Silverhounds are just destroyed, no problem. I'm able to kill the Everqueen, so that is massive. And now I can just really just focus on grinding down that unit. Over here on the right, not so good. What really happens is that I'm able to shoot down the Reaver, so that's okay. But what happens, of course, he kills the 1 Brown Giant, which I expected. But really, the other Giant, what happened is, remember, there's no Griffin, but he does 2 wounds with his Lord that has the sword with +3 attacks. And then I do another headbutt to the Griffin, fail my stubborn test, and get run down. So that wasn't really expected. So we're now on to his turn 3. This will be the first time where you can actually score. He is going to be charging his White Lions into the Wolves, and then he's going to be charging his Griffin into the Bolt Thrower. Now, one of the things that's really a choice he made that I was trying to force on him is that I kind of line this up where it's really tempting because you can kill the Wolves, overrun into the Orcs, or after he beat the Giant, he could turn around to look at the Wyvern. I flew into his zone. He decided to go down, and that's probably going to work out well for me. Otherwise, on this side, the Eagle's going to go after the Chariot. That'll be a little bit iffy. The Phoenix Guard are going to be coming after the Trolls. And this Phoenix, the Frost Phoenix, will be joining this combat, which is not good for me, but I should be steadfast and eventually win. Over here, he turns some of my Orcs into gold, and that's going to make them fail their panic, but they're only going to flee like 3 inches, so they actually amazingly stay on the board. What happens over here is you might notice that I'm missing some stuff. So first of all, the Eagle comes in, does nothing. I do a wound back. It's a draw. He tries shooting at my Wyvern. Does 1 wound to it, but that's it. In the fight there, really, I did no wounds to the Frost Phoenix. I kill a bunch of the Sword Masters. I fail, but I'm steadfast. I fail the Leadership 9, and lets me run off the board. So all of a sudden, I don't have very much over here, but he doesn't really either. And luckily, I have these 2 Chariots that I set up just in case. So now they can charge, finish off these guys, overrun to the Frost Phoenix, and I should be okay. In the center, I beat up those Phoenix Guard, and I just let them run away, because if I pursue, I might be too far in order to actually catch up. His dragon fails to rally, but he only goes like 4 inches, so not too bad. In the center, I keep on grinding, and you can see how I'm winning that fight. And on the right side, what happens is he beats the Wolves, but isn't able to catch me because he only overruns like 3 inches. Otherwise, Yeah, he shoots at that Wyvern, and that one really takes a beating. It's down to 1 wound on the Rider and 2 on the Wyvern, but it's still holding on. Overall, though, all the zones are being contested, so 0-0 at the end of his part of turn 3. So on my part of turn 3, what's going to happen here is I'm going to charge his unit with my chariot. He's going to see my ploy I'm going for, so he's going to flee, kind of banking on the fact that I probably will fail my redirect. And what happens is that he panics his Frost Phoenix. So yeah, that was unexpected. Otherwise here, I send a chariot into the eagle, and then the leftmost chariot in the Wyvern go after the spearman, but the chariot fails. But, you know, that the Wyvern will do well enough. Otherwise over here, I charge the Phoenix Guard and then redirect into the dragon. The dragon barely stays on the board, but the main thing is I just clear things away. Over here, this was a real crazy one. I mean, the Wyvern goes into the flank of the archers. That was easy. The Ragnarok chases or charges a unit of Reavers. They flee, and I roll really high to catch them. And then I charge the flank of the Spearmen with my Boar Boys, and I'll again roll like an 11 to get them. So all of a sudden, this area will be a bunch of combat that'll be kind of my favor. Over here, what happens is kind of dumb, actually. I decide that I want to... Okay, first of all, I was 9 wide, so I could go through those 2 buildings. But to fight this big fight, I want to be 10 wide. So, I mean, first of all, the Orcs here fail to rally. They jump off the board. These guys go for a swift reform, fail, and so I just won't be in the zone. I'm sorry, I didn't mention as well that... what happened as well is that the archers failed their animosity, so they're going to be blocking those 2 units from getting in either. But either way, I'm able to control my zone over here, kill his eagle, beat up on his spearmen, but they're steadfast. In the center, I got this zone. The biggest thing that happens here is that I'm able to beat up enough of his sword masters that they break, so all of a sudden that's going to give me a huge lead. And then on here on the right, yeah, I don't really go into this zone, which is kind of silly. But otherwise, what's going to happen is a big fight at the top there. And in the end, I'm going to have 2 zones. He'll have 1. So currently, it's 2-1 for the green guys. All right, so his turn 4, he's going to be rallying with his Frost Phoenix while his unit runs off the board. Otherwise, there was no charges or anything, so I just beat up on his archers. They break, I pursue, they get away, but, you know, I still kind of contest the zone at the very least. In the center, he's going to rally with both his Star Dragon and his Frost Phoenix, so that'll be pretty good for him. His magic phase wasn't super impressive, neither was his shooting, so nothing really there. Here on this side, the White Lions try to go for the charge, actually, but they fail and don't quite make it there. I forgot to say that for the Griffin, I was able to shoot it down, so that's why it magically disappeared. He actually cast Plague of Rust onto my Black Orcs. It's one of those things. You look at the Black Orcs, and they look like they should be a really powerful unit, but it just doesn't really work out that way. It's just not what they are. So, sure, now they have a 6+ armor, and I don't really care. And then, meanwhile, at the top, I keep on beating up his guys. I actually did that in the wrong order, because I kind of forgot that, really, I should be beating the archers with my Wyvern, and they probably won't be steadfast, but I didn't think about that, so I did the wrong order. So he's still there with his archers, but now the archers are fighting the Boar Boys and the Wyvern, and it's looking really bad. So at this point here, he's going to score a point. I'm going to be scoring a point as well, or 2. It's now starting to go in my favor pretty big. So on my turn, I'm able to charge into the flank of these archers. Over here, I'm going to charge his Bolt Thrower, and the hope is that I can overrun into the Star Dragon. Here, my Black Orcs charge in, and really with hatred and stuff, this should go my way. Over here, damn that Frost Phoenix, I still can't kill it, but I'm able to beat up those archers and overrun into another one, so now both these zones I'm scoring off of. In the center, I'm still hanging out and doing well there. I beat up the bolt thrower, and I overrun to the star dragon. And then finally over here, I beat up and kill everything in the top zone. And then here in the bottom, you can barely see them, but I kill almost everything. But now there's like a mage and 3 white lines. So I'm not scoring here, but I soon will. And the big thing to talk about here is just the whole idea that I'm now getting 4 points to his nothing. And so it's really not looking that good for him. I mean, yeah, we know what's going on now. So on his turn, his Frost Phoenix is going to charge into the War Machine. So then over on this side, his Wyvern is going to beat up the one War Machine, overrun into another. My Wyvern is going to beat up one unit of archers and overrun, but the other unit of archers booked it, so I didn't overrun into them. But I'm scoring off both zones here. In the center, I'm scoring off these zones. He, shot me up and stuff, but what really happened here is I overran into his Star Dragon. We did that fight there. I issue a challenge. He kills me. I still win on static combat res. He breaks, and that's how Night Goblins kill a Star Dragon. Meanwhile, here on the right side, yeah, I kill off this unit. I'm now scoring off all 5 zones. So on my turn here, I charge into the Bolt Thrower, charge into the Phoenix Guard. And this will be the last picture because really, he does have the Frost Phoenix, which is going around and killing stuff, but I killed off the Phoenix Guard. They're gone. The War Machines are all disappearing. So at this point here, it looks like I'm going to be scoring at least 4 or 5 points every turn. We just decided to call it. But really, it was a very fun game. Some panics early on really didn't help him, but talking to him, the biggest thing he said that held him back is that in the very beginning, when we were talking about doing a big game, he was like, yeah, let's do 14,000. Then he counted up his points and realized he could probably only do 8,000 max. And then even when you go and make an army, then he realized that he really had to take a lot of special characters to really get to those 8,000 points. So it really wasn't the type of list he would want to take. But either way, we had a lot of fun. We talked about the zones after, and really, I really like playing zones for fantasy. I really think it's a great way to play. It forces you to spread out, forces you to take action. And in this one here, it really went well for the Orcs and Goblins. I don't know what the final tally is, but yeah, Orcs and Goblins did pretty damn good. Hopefully you guys liked watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.